just shot my hair tutorial as well. So if you want to see how I carried on from my makeup to get to this nice little updo, it was actually super quick and easy because I spent so much time on my makeup, so I ran out of time for hair. But this is kind of exactly what I wanted to go for tonight. So I've got little vintagey earrings in and like a little, I don't know, like vintagey looking dress, and it's just a bit of a different look for me, which I hope you enjoy. Okie dokies, let's get started. So to start off with, I am going to prime my face. My mum always said it's a crime not to prime. So now I'm just grabbing a pea-size amount, and this is like a nice anti-aging primer, which means it's going to fill in all my little lines and smooth out my face really nicely. Oh, that feels so nice and velvety. Now, next step, foundation. I am using the Giorgio Armani Maestro, which I just love. Now I've gone pretty light on my foundation because I'm going to go pretty nuts with my contouring, which has a lot of cover in it in and of itself. So the palette I'm using is the Carve contour palette. It's like a cream palette, it looks like that. And I'm going to take a little bit of this to start with. And you can see right now my face is a lot paler than my body. So basically what I want to do is create a bit of contrast in my face so that the edges of my face blend with my body, and the middle here is going to be a bit highlighted and lighter. So this is how I like to do my contour. I start off with the dark and bring that all around my head. And then I just carve out the hollows of my cheekbones like that, and I make sure that I kind of, it's weird, but I blend it a little bit onto my ear because I don't suddenly want like the side of my face or behind my face to be lighter than the contour. So then here I just bring that down under the jaw so that that looks really strong and defined. Sometimes I even do a little line back here just to make that look hollow in there. Still on the dark color, and define my nose. And I like to start here at the inside of my eyebrow and just bring that curve in there, which really makes your nose look a lot thinner. Then I like my looks to look really sun-kissed, so I do like a little clown nose right here. I actually color my whole tip in brown, which kind of then looks like I've just had the sun beaming down on my forehead and the tip of my nose is really sun-kissed, and once you blend it all out, it makes sense. And then a little bit under here, which will make my lip look plumper. See that? Thin nose, plump lips. And we're done. Alright, now I'm moving on to the lighter color with a smaller, flat brush like this. I'm clearly not a makeup artist. I don't know all the technical terms to these brushes, but you get the general idea. So for me, this color is a little bit too light and this color is a little bit too dark for under my eyes here. So I kind of tap between the two of them and find that perfect shade. And I bring this right down onto the edge of the nose there. Do you see that? So where I've kind of put the dark line on my nose, I stop it there and I immediately go into the highlighter, so that's extra defined. Now I don't bring this highlighter up all the way under my eye. I've kind of stopped a little bit lower and I'm going to actually blend it up so there's not too much product up here in between my creases. Otherwise you'll end up having creases in your concealer and you don't want that. So the key is to have it a little bit lower and blend a small amount of it up. Then I'm going to get a bit of that middle shade here and make like a little rainbow shape there. And then the lighter one and pop it in the middle. And I'm going to take the same kind of mix between these two and actually bring that down this crease here. I have quite a deep laugh crease, I guess that's what you call this, because I have chubby cheeks. So for me, I like to put a little bit of highlighter in there as well. And I just bring that down around the nose, because sometimes you have a bit of redness there or something, which isn't great. Tap on the chin with the medium color. And just because I have a little pimple under there, I'm actually going to grab a bit of that medium color, which is probably the closest shade to my actual face, and just do a line under here so I've got a nice bit of coverage there. And now I'm going to go with the lighter shade and do another line there, which is just going to define that even more. Now going back to the lighter shade here, just with the tip of the brush, I'm going to take a little bit of that and I'm going to draw a line down the middle of my nose. Alrighty. So that is the basis of my full face contour. Now this is going to create a lot of coverage. I'm just going to go back to my damp beauty blender and blend it all out. Now I start with the light bits and then kind of gradually go into the dark bits, just so I'm not putting dark bits into the light areas, if you catch my drift. Now as you can see, I'm blending that right up into the tear ducts, the inside of my eyes. Just with the excess, I tap a little bit of that onto my eyelids. I don't want too much product on there, but it's nice to just cover, like, you get like little veins there, so it's nice to just cover them up a little bit. So now I'm at the point where I've blended out all the light shades, and now I can move on to blending out the dark contour. Make sure that you kind of bring that upwards rather than downwards. Okay, so that's me blended out, but as you can see, I am looking quite shiny. Now, in order to avoid that, I'm going to use some translucent powder. And for tonight, I actually want to bake under my eyes. So I'm going to just actually add one more layer of highlight under my eyes, just to make sure that that's really nice and smooth and even. Just in those little dark under eye areas. So to bake, you just need a translucent powder, and I'm going to dip my wet beauty blender in there and really, like, quite liberally apply this under my eyes. You put lots of this on. It's gonna look strange for a while, but it all makes sense in the end. All right, now I'm going to take a little bit more of that and put that here, kind of on the middle of my forehead, because that's another area where I get very shiny. I'm going to put the tip of it like that and draw the line in the middle of my nose, and a little bit here, and also a tiny bit towards the inside of my cheeks here. Okay, so now with this, you just leave this for about 10 minutes or so. So while I've got this on, I'm going to do my eyes. Now you might have noticed I haven't done my eyebrows yet, which mortifies me when I see my own reflection. So I'm gonna go straight onto eyebrows. I'm using this Modelco eyebrow pen. It is the best eyebrow tool I have ever used. On one side here, you've got like the little roll out stick color, and on the other side you've got a gel to set it. All right, now the other side, I'm gonna gel set it. I like to flick these inner hairs upwards so it looks like I have more natural volume and kind of messiness to my brow. And then here, I kind of flick them down a little bit just to make that straight line. And then towards the end, I flick them kind of towards my ear to, again, make it look a little disheveled, because I really like that look at the moment. And that will set there quite nicely. Now I'm going to move on to the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to start off with this Huda Beauty palette. And as you can see, I'm a big fan of this color here. And I'm just going to apply that to my lids. I'm going to take a bit of it and bring that in to kind of touch my contouring. Next, I'm going to use this Smashbox contour palette, and I'm actually not going to use it to contour right now. I'm going to grab a pretty big little eyeshadow brush and take that middle color there and just fill in the crease in my eyes. And that's just a really nice natural bronze color. So just dab a bit of that on and blend it out. Now I'm going to brush away a little bit of that baking translucent powder there because I want to work on the little fat pocket underneath my eye. So with a very thin little brush like that, I'm going to take more of that bronzy color and blend it all the way down. For me, I have these little pockets of fat right under my eyes, and sometimes I get my makeup done and like the artist will just do eyeliner and then nothing underneath, which makes me look very tired. Like there's a distinct difference between, you know, that little pocket under my eyes and then the dark, deeper circle below that. So the best thing that I found to counteract that and to make you look way more awake is to smoke it out. So I literally color that entire section in a nice bronzy color. Okay, so now I'm going to line my eyes. I'm going to start off with this angular liner here from Modelco and just draw a little square down here and up. This doesn't have to be too perfect because I am going to blend this all out. I do want a smoky effect rather than a strong line. I basically like to do a little triangle like that, and then I'm going to bring the liner to connect to that. It's a very strange thing, I know, but for some reason a wing eyeliner doesn't look that great on me, and if I do it like this, it works a lot better. Like the shape just works better with my eyes. Now, as I'm lining the waterline here, I'm actually going to flick a little bit of that out at the end and go a little bit below my eye here. This is gonna look really weird to start with, but it will look smoky eventually. To smoke it out, I'm going to go for a really nice warm smoky color. So I'm gonna go with this coppery matte eyeshadow here and take an angular brush like that, a really thin angular brush, and just grab a bit of that and trace all the way along my line. Basically, fully cover it up. This is why it didn't matter too much that my liner isn't perfect, but you do want the black kind of base there underneath this because it's going to make it a much darker, more intense copper color. You have to keep taking more of this because you do want it to be a really concentrated color along the line there. Now with that same color, I'm going to blend out the dark bit of eyeshadow that I've done down there and then actually sort of bring it towards underneath my eye there as well, but without the black underneath it, it's gonna look a little bit lighter. So it's gonna start to give you that smoky effect right away. So more of this at the outer corner and then just a little bit towards the inside. So the beauty with contouring and having this baking here first is that if any of your eyeshadow drops, it's actually going to drop straight onto the translucent powder, which you brush away anyway. So it actually acts as a bit of a, you know, protector for your face as well. So that's where we're at. Now I'm going to go back to this contour palette and grab that nice middle bronzy shade and just blend underneath there out. Now I'm going to take that same coppery color with a really dense little eyeshadow. I guess this is like a blending kind of brush, but I'm going to dab that on the outside of my eyes and just towards the bottom, color that whole bit in. See that? I'm going to bring that up into the crease. And pretty much cover half my eye with it. See how the inside there is still light? I've just covered it towards the outside and the most concentrated section is over here. Now I'm going to take my bronzy color again and with a thicker brush blend it out towards the top. And now with that same thin angular brush there, I'm going to take black matte eyeshadow, which is really, really pigmented, and draw across the line again and blend that out towards the ends. Now I'm going back to this. I'm going to take a little bit of that black and just put it right on the outer edges. And going from there, blending that in towards the eyelid. And going back again to my, here we go. Going back again to this bit, blend that all towards the top. You kind of tap it. I also blend this on the inside of my lid there, so there's no harsh transition from the light to the dark. It kind of will go light bronze, copper, then black. Just on the inside of my eyes here, I would like a little bit of a highlight. So I'm gonna take this beautiful gold shimmery color here, and a very small amount, I'm just gonna apply inside there, which will really open up and brighten my eyes. Now I'm just gonna brush through my lashes and apply a slick of mascara. All right, and that's the eyes done. And now it's time to get rid of this translucent powder. So in order to get rid of it, I'm going to use a brush and a pressed powder with some pigment in it. So this is like a powder foundation. I'm just gonna grab a little bit of that and tap it away. And then really gently, bit by bit, flick away this translucent powder. You see how that just disappears? You do want to bring that highlight all the way up there so it gives you that really fierce, awake look. And now you can see that has really brightened up the under eyes. And the great thing about this is I'm not gonna get the creases when I'm smiling all day under my eyes where the concealer is. And it is really quite thick. Now, the same thing to the rest of the face. The finishing touch on this is a little bit of blush. Now I'm gonna take a tiny bit of MAC highlighter. I'm just gonna put that on a really big loose brush and just do this up my cheekbones. This, oh my gosh, I got this the other day and it is the coolest. So it is a Smashbox Always Sharp liner. And at first I had no idea what it was like kind of talking about. Every time you put the lid on and twist it, it actually sharpens it, which is so cool. So then you untwist it and there's more that's come out and it's ready to use every single time you open it. So clever. Right, so I'm gonna line. And I like to do this little trick here with liner. Towards the outer corner of my eyes, I like to have a little bit of a smile actually kind of drawn on. Not full Joker style, but just a tiny little flick at the corner here upwards, in an upwards direction, will mean that you don't ever have resting bitch face. You just have like a resting smile face, but it's gonna be really subtle. So you go like this. And you just blend that up. I like this color, so I'm actually gonna do my entire lip with it. Now that is a really beautiful shade. I'm a big fan of that, but I'd like my lip to be even more nude for this look, given that I've got quite smoky eyes. So I'm going to take a little bit of this super light concealer color here and just tap that onto my lip, starting from the middle and blending outwards. And last but not least, I am going to grab some of this Smashbox Insta Matte. Now this is a really cool product, I've not seen this before, but it's basically like a lip gloss that you put over the top of your lipstick, which will make any lipstick matte. Now this is already very matte, but I've discovered that it's a fantastic product to actually set a lipstick. And the one thing that really annoys me about nude colors is that I feel like when you speak and smile and drink and things like that when you're out, a lot of the time you can get that line there where it kind of separates from, you know, the wetness of your lip. So this product actually prevents that from happening, which I just think is fantastic. So I'm gonna put a bit of that on as well. Alrighty, so that is the final look done. As you can see, I've got a very smoked out kind of coppery colored eye, and then super contour. And then I've just kept it, you know, a little bit in balance with a nice nude matte lip. So I'm going to go and do my hair as well, but I figured I should do that in a separate video because otherwise this tutorial would be like outrageously long. So if you do want to see that, click this link here. I don't know, it'll be somewhere on the screen.